the Biden administration and the U.S. mainstream media, much of Western media, keep running around saying that Hamas has rejected the ceasefires, which is not true. Hamas has rejected some of them because they said that Israel could continue to genocide them after the exchange of hostages. And in case I need to remind everyone, Israel has over 10,000 hostages in their prisons, Palestinian hostages. If you're worried about hostages, I hope you, no hostage left behind, all right? Will you be worried about both hostages, both sides of hostages, the 100-some in Gaza and the 10,000 in Israel? So Hamas has turned down some because of that reason, but many of them Hamas has not turned down. Israel is the one who's not actually signing the ceasefire. So the bullshit about, oh, Hamas just won't do it, Hamas just says it's garbage. From Mondo Weiss, the proposal that President Biden laid out 12 days ago was virtually identical to one that Hamas had accepted and put forward itself on May 6th. So there's no reason why this agreement should not be reached. The only reason would be Hamas continuing to change the terms. So that's a quote from Antony Blinken. The article says, so said Antony Blinken in an interview with Al Jazeera on Wednesday. The statement is part of an extended campaign of deception that Blinken has spearheaded. It featured President Joe Biden's dramatic unveiling of a ceasefire proposal, followed by the UN Security Council resolution and Blinken's latest tour of the Middle East, all ostensibly to reach a ceasefire. The subtlety hidden in the term virtually identical that Blinken used attempts to hide crucial differences and betrays the real point of Blinken's public relations sojourn.
A deal was on the table that was virtually identical to the proposal that Hamas put forward on May the 6th. A deal that the entire world is behind, a deal Israel's accepted, and Hamas could have answered with a single word: yes. Instead, Hamas waited nearly 2 weeks and then proposed more changes, a number of which go beyond positions that had previously taken and accepted.
Biden's proposal is very similar to the one Hamas accepted on May 6th. Notably, the United States at the time explicitly said that Hamas had not accepted the proposal. So Hamas accepts many of these proposals, and the U.S. then runs around and says they haven't accepted it, which is lies. It's straight up lies. Then the Mondo Weiss goes on to say there's a key difference between the plan that was initially accepted and the one that came later. If negotiations need longer to succeed, phase one, including its temporary ceasefire, will be extended for as long as it takes. But crucially, the plan also says that if Israel decides Hamas is not negotiating in good faith, it can resume its murderous rampage through Gaza. So all that needs to happen for Israel to continue their genocide is for them to holler, oh, Hamas is not negotiating right. It's a giant loophole for Israel to continue their genocide. That's just one example, but here's another, just part of the list of all the times that Israel has rejected or ignored at least a dozen deals agreed to by Hamas. October 9th, 2023, Hamas offers to release some prisoners in exchange for 36 Palestinian women and children held in Israeli prisons. Netanyahu rejected it. Mid-October 2023, sources say the Palestinian resistance offered to release its large number of prisoners in exchange for a 5-day ceasefire. Netanyahu rejected it. October 16th, Hamas official on Sky News offers to release Israeli civilian prisoners in exchange for the release of 6,000 Palestinian political prisoners. Netanyahu rejects it. And of course, 6,000 is not the maximum number of prisoners that Israel has. In the one time we actually had a prisoner exchange back in whenever that was, November, Israel, as they released their certain Palestinian hostages back into Gaza or the West Bank, they then went into the West Bank and kidnapped more people. So basically, Israel just stole, kidnapped, and imprisoned way more people than they were releasing. Kind of as a fuck you, if you're going to make us give up prisoners, then we're going to just grab more prisoners as we release them. Anyway, I'm not going to go through the whole list, but October 28th, November 17th, January 1st, January 18th, January 21st, February 7th, March 15th, May 6th, May 18th. These are all deals that Israel has rejected. after acting like they were going to accept them a lot of the time.